Oh dear, right, well, I suppose it's time to move on. We better swiftly do that. We're going to hear a bit of Adampgreen's music, and then we're going to have a chat with him and hear the single that he's made for Katy Holmes Trust. And that's going to come up very shortly. Come on then, Adam, what was the name of that?
That was called Come Closer.
Oh, that's very nice. That's
not mentioned in the song, very new order.
Oh, yes. Very, very melancholy, actually. There's a very melancholic feel to it.
A lot of my work is very that sort of way. Yeah.
Right, Adampgreen is with us, and he's talking about his single he's done for the Katy Holmes charity. Now, if you remember, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, one of the pubs over on the Blackpool Road, we had them on because they had a great big day with a car boot sale and that, raising money for Katy Holmes, for the trust. And so we thought we'd continue the theme, which is a great way to do it. How did you get involved?
A friend of mine who lives quite locally had said to me that something was... She made me aware of the story, at least, which is obviously desperately upsetting. She'd said that they were having some sort of huge picnic, which has now been and gone, and suggested that maybe I could lend my... Excuse me, my voice for the day.
It sounds like you gave it away. Adam's voice. Have you got it? We'll find it for you. Don't worry.
Yes. So I approached Paula Holmes, Katy's mother, and said, I'd like to, if I could, be a part of what you're doing at the picnic, this fundraising picnic. And she said yes, that'd be great. Then unfortunately, I'd been double booked, as these things are, best laid plans and all that. And I couldn't make it, which was... I'd begged and pleaded with the people that had these other plans and said, I've really, really got to go for this thing. It's all for charity. And they were just, look, you've got to get your priorities sorted. It's very, very important that you be here, without going into much detail. And with desperate guilt of not being able to go, having said that I would go, I thought about how I could, give something to the day. So I thought, I could buy something, do it for raffle, or give some cash or whatever. And then it suddenly dawned on me that, you're a singer-songwriter, fool. Why don't you write a song and then give it to the family? But then it had dawned on me that the Bee Gees recorded a track, Too Much Heaven, then gave that all their benefit cause. I think they gave the rights to the song, actually, to the charity. So I thought, well, we'd do that. We could sell it for, next to nothing. And then the more people buy it, obviously all the money goes to the charity. And it just went from there. I managed to get to the picnic after that because the priorities people said, you're doing this huge thing, it would be ridiculous if you weren't there. I'm like, right, I've already cancelled on them, this is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, I ended up being there and it went down really well. So it's still on sale, it's still hoping to get more and more and more people, hence my being here.
Now we're going to let everybody hear it a little bit later, but how do you sit down and write a song that in any way you can work, in with that type of thing, because it's full of emotion, the situation? How do you reflect that in a song? How do you start that process?
It was probably one of the most difficult things I've ever written, because I didn't, at the time, I didn't know the family. I'd never met, Paula or Dave or any part of the team Katy. It was a strange one. Obviously, Paula said to me just after I'd offered to do it, well, how are you going to do this? You've not got a great deal of time in which to do it. And I thought, how am I going to do this? But then I've already said that I'm going to do it. But anyway, I'd said to her, maybe you could let me know certain key words that you felt about, what related to Katy. And so I kind of took it from there. I think she gave me about 10 or 11 words that she'd said at Katy's funeral. And from there, it was a case of, I'd come up with a lyric, which ended up being the title of the track, and I thought this lyric's really good. I don't really want to let that go. But I'm not a parent. I've no idea how you obviously dealt with various different forms of loss. But I thought, how am I going to go about doing this? So I sat down and watched Paula talking about Katy's story on YouTube. It's about a 15-minute video, and it's possibly one of the most touching videos I've ever seen. So having watched that, it became very clear about 5 minutes in exactly how the song would go, exactly how the emotion would go, and exactly how those words would be fit into some sort of lyrical intention. It was just, a friend once said to me that whatever I tend to sing, there's some sort of, I could sing some, ketchup song, whatever it is, by those ridiculous girls, and it would sound relatively emotional, which is a really nice compliment. But it occurred to me in that, without being far too big-headed, that whatever I'd written, obviously with putting the emotion to it, I didn't want it to be too sad, because then obviously whenever it was listened to, especially by the family, it would be very, very difficult for them to hear. So it's kind of reflective, but at the same time more of a tribute to what she was to them and what she has meant for them to go ahead and do what they're doing for the research for this charity. It's just remarkable what they're doing.
Well, I was going to say, did you actually have aims with it as well? Did you? I mean, you said obviously you didn't want it to be sad, because it's got to be a carry forward. It's got to take things forward. But were there any other aims you wanted to get out of it? Or people to get out of it?
The biggest hope was that it wouldn't be a sympathy download. Like, oh, it's a charity, oh, I'll get it, it's only 79p. It was a case of, it's actually a really nice track. So aside from wanting people to sit there and go, right, actually I spent next to nothing on this song, I'm sat here listening to it, it's really, really nice, and I've made a difference. So I was hoping that they would listen to it and think, yeah, you know what, I've spent this, I could tell somebody else about this, and I could continue to make a difference. Because whenever it's downloaded, cause obviously it'll be online, with it being digital, it'll be there forever. And it's just whenever it's downloaded, somebody's friend's dog's trainer or whatever, as soon as they get it, all goes to charity. So it's all basically so that people would like it, and that the family, obviously I ran it by Paula at first. I remember sending her an email saying, oh, I've sent it, it's in your inbox. And literally about 2 minutes later she'd said, I saw it when it came in, and I've listened to it 3 times already. And I was like, oh yeah, I've only just sent you a text, this is incredible. And I said, can we go forward and I'll get it on so people can start to get it bought. And she just gave me the all clear, and obviously the biggest effect I needed was from her to give me, yes, do it.
So she's listened to it, as we now gather, she listened to it privately, as it were.
Yeah.
What was the first time when you met up and either performed it or were with her and the family when they listened?
The first time I met them was probably about 2 weeks after it had been available for download, and I'd met them at this Katy's picnic in the park at Hurst Grange Park in Penwitham.
Yes.
I wandered on. I had terrible tonsillitis. It was horrific. And I met Paula, and she introduced me to various different people, and it was different because everybody that I met wanted to hug me, as opposed to shaking hands as people tend to normally meet, which was no drawback. I love hugging people. I think it's one of the best ways to greet.
Yeah, you can let us go now though.
Sorry, mate. 20 minutes.
Nick's getting cramp on that left knee.
Yeah, so I was. It was all a case of hugs. It was very very emotional. I didn't expect to be as I don't want to say well received, but when I met them, it was a very obvious case of thanks that what I was doing. And then when the song was performed that day, I have been told since that Paula and her husband were on stage to my right and singing along with the track. So obviously listened to it various amount of times to be able to sing along with me on the song.
And the first download, the first time somebody went, I'm having that.
Oh, it's all going to charity, isn't it? So the first person to download it probably will have been either myself or Paula, because obviously I was saying to people, no one's getting this for free. Like my boss at work, and he was like, oh, well, send it to me, I want to give it a listen. I go, no, you're going to buy it.
That's the point, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not entirely sure who the first person bought it was, but obviously the whole thing, I've not received any figures just yet.
But it is selling, it is out there.
It is definitely selling, yeah. I mean, the amount of people that I don't know who on various social networking things have come back to me and said it's a really, really nice track. You're doing something really nice here, and I've got it, and I've listened to it. I've getting people to buy it, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's very complimentary. I've never done anything like this before, so it's really, really nice.
What we will say though is just, like Adam said, no one is getting this track for free. So when we do play it later, everyone listening is on about to put in a quid towards the charity.
That's it. Yeah. They are. That's the deal, isn't it?
That's the deal.
Whenever you see a Katy Holmes event, then you get yourself down there and you say, I listened to that on Preston FM. There's my £1 for
Bang on. Well, you can obviously.
Oh, they can download it as well.
You can download the track. You could go. I think you can go to the www.katyhomestrust.co.uk. Go on there and look at everything that's going on. There's my website at adampgreen.com, and you get all the links to everything there. Really.
But if somebody just wants to go on and download it,
yeah,
they're impressed once they listen to it today. If they get the pens ready, we'll repeat it after we've played the track.
Yeah.
Where can they get it from, specifically to download?
Specifically download. There are the links to the direct download on both of those websites, so we can get a pen ready, and we'll tell you after the song's played, I guess.
That's absolutely brilliant. Tell us then the story of the song. Just give us a little bit of that.
The story of the song. It was a parent talking to a child. So it was trying to be relatively universal. The idea that this child had affected their lives in such a huge way, and then is now no longer in a physical form with them, but the effect that child and whatever happened to them not being around anymore has had on what's going on now. I mean, there's a lyric in there that says, you'll know that the battle can be won. And obviously if this hadn't have happened, the family and team Katy wouldn't have been doing what they're doing and assisting the research for paediatric brain tumour, which, by the way, 0.7% of the government's funding goes towards researching that, which is crazy. It's one of the biggest killers. So yeah, if it hadn't have happened, then the team Katy wouldn't have gone on to do this and wouldn't be affecting other kids' lives that have no link to them whatsoever.
Wonderful. Well, let's hear the track then, shall we?
I'm Adam P. Green, and this is called Innocent Hands, Song for Katy.
I think I've let that go to about as far as I can without leaving silence. That is amazing. Honestly, that is truly amazing, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
He's on there already. Look at this.
He's downloading away.
Nice. Yes, so you can get it from www.katyhomestrust.co.uk. There's a link there to the iTunes download. For anything else, anybody that doesn't have an iTunes account, you can get it from www.adampgreen.com. It is available on Spotify, Amazon MP3, Nokia's Ovi Store, and of course iTunes.
Wow. Other online retailers are available.
But those are the ones you've got to go to get this. And I think there may be people picking that up and going and getting it today.
Wonderful. That's what we need.
Absolutely. So what does the future hold? This is still out there. You're still doing some promotion work around it as well? Coming in here,
obviously, yeah. Anything that we can do, really, to as much of the funding that is this 0.7%, whatever we can get, to stop. The way it's been put is to stop other little angels, coming about, because it's just crazy that 0.7% of the research goes to that. I mean, David Cameron had written a handwritten response to Paula and Dave and their family about him looking over things personally to make sure that things are looked at properly. So as long as that sort of thing can continue and the funding that can get there via various different means. I mean, there are various other things that unfortunately I can't make that the Katy Holmes Trust are doing, which is all available on our website if you wanted to get involved. But the next one I'm at is in November or December. There's a Christmas ball. And that'd be great, But up until that point, whatever I can do to get the song sold, it's next to nothing, really. I write and record work for for myself, and then suddenly it came about that I could record this and do that. So it's not any great sort of, it's not any, without downplaying it too much, it's not a fantastic effort on my part. Anything that I can do is more than doing nothing, obviously. And I've been thanked in so many different ways by the family and the team, but I just wish there was more that I could do, to try and make more and more of a difference. Hence my coming in this morning.
Well, and that's right, and we're more than happy to give that sort of time for this sort of cause. That's what it's about, from sort of with the pub the other week, and I know there's events on. If we get the chance to publicise it, we will be out there publicising it, and making sure people are aware of things like this.
Yeah, and why not?
And it's amazing how out of grief and sadness, how much hope can come from others, and how much life can come as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I was talking on the Please Help Katy Holmes Facebook community the other night, and just past the comment that Paula Holmes and everybody that's involved in this is just incredible amount of strength to be able to go out and do this sort of thing. I mean, on the picnic, it was such a grand day. There was, I'm not entirely sure of the exact figure of people, but it was absolutely heaving, and for them to be like a group of, I'm not entirely sure the exact figure, maybe 10 or 11 people, for them to be running around, making sure that people are on stage properly, making sure that all the stands are working fine. I mean, gazebos were blowing away, but they kept themselves calm. I mean, I was talking to one of the event organisers, Carrie Walters. She had managed to keep her calm throughout the entire day. Whereas, I wouldn't know where to begin to plan that sort of event, and it was huge. So, yeah, they're a remarkable group of people to be able to, such grief comes such hope, like you say. And just as with the track, it's such a sad, strange little juxtaposition for me in that I was going to perform some songs that Katy liked. I was going to go and perform Someone Like You by Adele and Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John, two of Katy's favourite tracks. And then with not being able to make it, obviously writing the song, and then going to perform the song. So the song wouldn't have come about if I hadn't have not been able to go, and it's a very strange little...
It's amazing how fate plays a hand in such a positive way at times.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It can be very strange what it does, can't it?
Yeah.
I'm always amazed. I'm always shocked by the way sometimes you sort of think, well, I should have gone to that, but that didn't. But then I got to do that because of that. How does that happen? Why does that happen? But I'm not complaining.
No, of course.
Because when it does, like you said, you sort of end up with some great results out of it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So what about the future for you? What are your plans next, apart from this? I mean, obviously, singer-songwriter, you're out there doing it.
I mean, the idea originally was to write it just to give to the family, and then they could do whatever with it. But then the thought that it could be sold was like more of an afterthought. For me personally, the work is just again is available on iTunes. Not to detract from what I'm here to do.
No, but if people have enjoyed the experience of listening and want to pick up more, it's a good way around it, isn't it? It's a nice thing to think that people have liked it so much they want to hear more of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and by association, they're still helping because your involvement with the trust means that they're linked with it.
True, absolutely, yeah. I continue to work, every time an idea comes to me, it's right, I'm down, it's on. So there's constantly things going. There is an album on iTunes that'll show up once you go to download the single.
You see, there's a positive thought from that some of the stuff you've done for the Katy Holmes Trust is driving you as well.
True, yeah, it was strange because the song literally took about 72 hours to finish, to start and finish, which is the fastest I've ever written anything. The idea that the creativity that's come from it now, it's probably about 4 or 5 tracks, because I tend to spend ages working on a piece of work. So yeah, probably about 4 or 5 tracks that are nearly ready to be finished.
And it's that, even if it's not helped directly towards one thing, if there's an inspiration come from it, that surely is as valid as anything else.
Absolutely.
If you've taken inspiration from it, then that's Katy Holmes at work.
There's talk about me becoming part of Team Katy. I'm not entirely sure whether or not that's set in stone, because of my limited availability. I don't want to constantly turn them down if they say, "We need you to come to this." But of course, I would be more than honoured to be part of that. So, but the different amount of people that I've met over the last, say, month or so. I think the song was released on the 18th of May. I think 16th maybe. Yeah, because you're walking in different circles, it's obviously you see different things, and as minor as it is, it can be a major thing in a piece of work, can't it, really?
Absolutely. Right, well, we'll be playing that regularly, won't we?
Absolutely.
And it'll be on our playlist here at Preston FM, and we'll make sure that whenever we do play it, that we give out the details of how people can download it for the Katy Holmes Trust.
Cracker. That'd be more than appreciated.
Adam, it's been delightful having you in. A real, genuine honour to have you here. Play that excellent single. We've got another of your tracks to play. Which one are we going to do? I've got 2 or 4 to go at.
2 or 4.
It's just secret code between me and Adam, that's right.
We'll change the mood a little. If you go with number 2.
Is that the heavy rock track?
It's the proper heavy metal track.
Get in.
This was called In the Dark, and it's featured on the on my album on iTunes.
Thank you, Adam P. Green.
Thank you.
There you go. That was Adam P. Green's single, and don't forget, if you want to download that track for the Katy Holmes Trust, you just go to the Katy Holmes Trust website. It's as simple as that. Put it in the search engine, and you'll find it. Go on.
And various online retailers as well.
And various online retailers as well. Yes. So you'll be able to find it. Very easy. Make sure you download it and play it. Put it on your MP3 playback machine.
Absolutely.